everyone, it's Mark here at the Blue Rose Bath and Body, and today is the highly anticipated follow-up video to Pappy Claus's creating the jingle bed in bed for our new frosted soap bar. This video is going to be completely different. It's almost as unique as the bar that we created in the fact that it is, with few exceptions, it is completely time-lapsed in various speeds. What we wanted to do is take you from conception to completion.
When will you make an end?
When I'm finished.
I've made numerous soap loaves and bars over the years, but this is my first foray into the filming process, and anyone that knows me will tell you that I am not the most tech-savvy person there is, but hopefully I'm getting better for you guys as I go along.
That's it. What about everything we talked about?
Well, I get a little nervous.
A little nervous.
I'm getting better.
We had over an hour and a half of footage, and it was challenging condensing it down, but we had a couple of goals in mind that we wanted to accomplish in the making of this video. We wanted to educate new soap makers. We wanted to entertain veteran soap makers. We wanted to make people and our customers laugh and entertained and just satisfy their curiosity as to how we make our soaps and other products.
Are you not entertained?
So what we ended up with was a little over 20 minutes to work with, and we decided to do the time lapsing so we could do a voiceover. I say we because Shannon will be joining me to keep me on point and to point out some things that I missed, because I tend to get off topic and ramble on. I did purposefully set up some scenarios that you might come across, and I wanted to give you some tips on how to deal with those situations. And there were some serendipitous things that happened that made things a lot easier, and who doesn't want things to go your way? I know I love it when a plan comes together.
I love it when a plan comes together.
So, without further ado, join Shannon and I as we bring you our magical Christmas creation from us to you.
So the fragrance that we chose and blended here is a cranberry with a hint of grape and spice and a nice vanilla finish. Very crisp and clean.
Yes, and we're utilizing kaolin clay here to anchor the fragrance so it will last longer in your soaps. When preparing your last solution, it's important to pour it into the water. Cooled water, preferably. Ice water, ice cubes would be better, but I'm doing this backwards to show you that when you pour the water onto the lye, it kicks up fumes, and it is a higher temperature, which is around 188 degrees. So I'm going to put this in the freezer and let it cool down.
Yeah.
Here's some of our hard butters that we put in the double boiler to melt down. Now we're preparing our soft oils.
Yeah, and we chose our butters and oils very specifically for moisturization, something that would make our skin feel very soft and nourished with a lot of omega fatty acids in it, vitamins, and I'm really proud of the blend that we created here with our formula.
Shannon's a real woman of genius there.
Oh, thank you, love.
Hats off to you.
I appreciate that.
It's the some miracle blend there you got going.
Another thing I really like about our formula is that it's a very light colored batter. So it takes to colors very well. And that's kind of hard because a lot of other oils that you can choose are darker. It can throw off some of the mica colors that you might choose to use as your colorants.
Yes, it's great for whites. You don't have to use much TD in it at all.
TD being titanium dioxide?
Yes, thank you. That's what you're there for, to correct me. Here I'm adding in the melted down hard butters. And what you want to do is get this to cool down while the lye's cooling down. for in between 80 and 90 degrees.
Yeah, 85 is kind of our sweet spot, right?
Yes, that's correct. You're fact checking me here. You want to mix this up and I'll show you. I think it is around 100 degrees at this point. Yep. Here are our mica colors. The Nature Soap. We got Alpine Green, Maya Gold, and Really Red.
Nature Soap has great colors.
Yes, they do. And here I'm pouring in the lye solution. I want to pour it off the stick blender to prevent air bubbles from forming. You can also, I put my stick blender in at an angle so it don't cause those bubbles. But you can always tap it down and see if there's any. Then you're wanting to mix it really well, get them all together. And a good way to check that, you'll see here in a second, is when I pull the stick blender out. If it runs off, it's not ready. You want it to stick.
You shouldn't see any separation
that's
on
what I
that
meant.
bell. Yeah. I love watching this part. It's relaxing.
There's good. That's good enough. And I'm going to separate off some for our top layer and set that aside. And you don't want that to set up too fast. That's why you want a light trace. Here I got the fragrance bat. I'm going to hit it with the blender real quick. Make sure it's nice and set up. Add to that strength of the bar.
Yeah.
Now I am adding the first colorant, which is the Alpine Green, to the base of our bar. It's 3/4 of the bar, so the main portion.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching the color go down.
I do too. It's one of my favorite parts.
I thought this was too light, though. It looked like a pea green.
It did. We really wanted it to match Santa's sleigh in the Polar Express movie.
Here I'm adding some activated charcoal to darken it up.
Which was a great idea.
It also does what?
Oh, it has like benefits for the pores. It helps cleanse the pores. A lot of facial masks are made out of it.
Yeah, you told me that. So you get an added bonus here as we're trying to darken this bar. I was crossing my fingers hoping this would turn out the right dark green that we wanted.
Yeah.
And some colorants do darken as they cure, so...
But we don't mind if this one does.
We don't want it to go light, though.
Yeah, I was afraid it would do that.
I blended this a little bit extra because I wanted it to have a heavier trace due to the mica line. And I'm going to add the fragrance right here. And this was a good test for my next layer, the red that I was going to add later, to see if this would lighten the trace up.
Yeah, because some fragrances can do that. Some can actually harden them as well, so it's good to do your research.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Thank you very
It helps
much.
me out a lot.
Thank you.
And this did lighten the trace. As you can see, I'm blending it a little bit extra here to let it set up for me.
Yeah, that looks like a heavy trace there, or medium to heavy.
It's not too heavy. I could still pour it.
Pro tip over there. You cleaned off your stick blender in a...
Yeah, and I also made a little mess. I'll be more careful next time, you'll see. Well, I got my trusty brambleberry mold out, and I'm ready to pour.
Yeah, this looks really good. It's a heavy trace, but still pourable. And if you'll notice, there's a lot going in of the green. It's going to reach nearly to the top. So the concept of this bar was the Polar Express movie. And we were looking at the sleigh that Santa had. It was mainly green with some red accent and gold trim. So that's what we wanted to duplicate here. And you're going to see more of that effect later on.
Yes, and it's also already turning a darker green. If you can tell. It's kind of hard to see on the camera.
Yeah, the camera doesn't pick up the color as well as it does in real life.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but it is true.
And look at you scraping every tiny bit out that you can
Yeah, I'm
get.
trying to give them their money's worth. I don't waste not, want not. You
Right?
know?
Plus,
More
we don't
soap.
want to waste anything, and we're trying to flatten this out a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're gonna do that a little bit better anyway.
Yeah, as you can see, it hasn't set up too much on me. It's still workable, but it's getting there. It is getting there.
You're tapping it down.
Let me get that little spot right there. Yeah. Tap,
Yeah.
tap, tap.
Oh, yeah.
It made us a little waves there, you know.
Yeah.
Like riding in the sleigh effect.
Sure.
All right, now I'm grabbing the Maya Gold mica. I'm preparing the mica line.
Yeah.
Now you might think I'm doing a little excessive mica in here, but this mica line, you want more, not less. Trust me. You want it to really stand out.
This does, and this particular shade makes a wonderful mica line, I think.
Yeah, thanks for the free sample there.
Nature's Garden,
Nature's
I think.
Garden,
is the yeah. It does get everywhere, but
Yeah, I definitely used that sample because I had poured it into the bag. I stamped it, cleaned it up, and then I tapped it down.
yeah, always good to clean your molds.
Yeah, you don't want it running up the sides, especially the mica gold. I didn't want that.
At one point, didn't you blow on it and it kind of went everywhere?
Well, no, that was a different bar, but I tapped this down and you'll see a plume cloud come up. But I wanted it to disperse more to the sides anyways. See, boom, right there. See it?
Yeah.
I love looking at that, though. It's really pretty.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and
Even
here
just
I'm
look at
getting the red, preparing this, and I know that the fragrance is going to lighten the trace up already, so I'm not too concerned.
Yeah, this has been sitting for a while.
Yeah, so I go ahead and blend I go ahead and blend the color in. I'm not worried.
It does look like a little bit of heavier trace than
Yeah.
what you started with when you first poured it.
It was setting up,
Yeah.
but watch, when I put the fragrance in, it's going to lighten this trace up. I scrape. Yeah. Clean it off. Look, I was more careful. I protected the spray.
Yep, saw that.
Oversplash. Here's the fragrance. You'll see it, how light it makes it. A tappy again. I hand mixed this. I could have blended it, but I wanted it lighter. But I don't want it too light, too thick to break the fall and do a drop swirl and break that mica line.
Yeah.
So watch, I will break the fall with the spatula. See, it's super thin right now with that fragrance. Thank you, Shannon.
Well, you're very welcome. Glad to help.
Yeah, here, I'm going to adjust that and watch. This is how you break the fall. It's very close. I don't know if you can tell.
I can see your hand shaking.
Yeah, I was delicate. It looks like ketchup, this color.
It really does.
But it turns into a nice dark green,
beautiful,
actually.
beautiful. You mean red?
Red.
Beautiful, beautiful Christmas red.
I got green on the mind. That main green.
Right.
It's scaring me. Yeah, but that's a nice ketchup color there. Right now. That's what it looks like
it
on camera. It
definitely does look very ketchup-y.
Yeah, there again, I'm getting all I can out of it. I just like watching it.
I do too. I get mesmerized.
What do our granddaughter say? So satisfying.
Oh yeah, she was only like 7 years old when she watched it, and she was like, satisfying.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little cleanup here.
Yeah, it's always good to clean up.
Tappy. It was really easy to work with this fragrance and these colors. It didn't affect our batter at all.
Tap again. So at this point, what happens next, Mark?
Well, I'm going to spritz it down with 91% alcohol and remove it for 24 hours, exactly 24 hours before I decide to attempt to unmold this loaf.
Yeah.
Now, you'll see here, I love Brambleberry's molds. They're super easy to work with. Watch this. Now, I want to peel this back. I want to check to see if it's sticking. If it is, I was going to set it back aside, let it cure another 12 hours or so, maybe. Or another day, depending on.
Some need about 48. You never know.
Yeah, like our Winter's Eve, that time it imploded on me.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I used parchment paper. I just scooped it up and...
but, hey, that resulted in our Arctic frost.
Yeah, which turned out wonderful.
When you rebatched that, it was a beautiful soap, and it turned out perfect. So you wanted this kind of firm enough to where you could...
What am I going to do here?
Yeah.
I'm going to go get my SC2000, the Cyberdyne Systems Soapinator.
This is the cutter.
This is what we nicknamed the cutter here.
So a lot of people can cut at 18 to 24 hours, but you waited exactly 24 hours.
Exactly 24, because I got to get to this next step.
Yeah, we wanted it to be still soft but firm enough to where it wouldn't be super sticky.
I love the sound of this clink it makes. You can't hear it here because we're time lapsing, but I love that sound.
It's the little things in
Look,
life.
the gold mica line turned out wonderful. The green's darker already. The
Oh,
red's
yeah.
darker.
It's beautiful. But we're not done.
I'm not worried about the top because we're going to be frosting these after. A lot of people frost them on, but
Yeah.
we wanted to show the detail and everything.
So let's talk a little bit more about the inspiration of this bar. Obviously, we've kind of stated it a couple of times. We were inspired by the movie The Polar Express because this is one of my favorite Christmas movies, and we watch it every Christmas Day Eve, I would say. So we wanted to take the Santa sleigh and kind of duplicate the colors in that with the gold trim, you know, the accent of red, and mainly being a green sleigh.
All right, there's my
Oh,
goal.
but here's where the part comes in that's really important.
Yeah, let me talk about this real quick.
Sure.
We were concerned how we were going to do this. Were we going to frost first? Were we going to stamp it after, or beforehand? These are not super hard. They're just been cut. They're soft enough to work with, but I was worried they would be too soft. But what I did is I got my little skewer from Hobby Lobby, tapped it down on gold mica, and started to punch them into. See my thumb right there? It was a little soft. It was pushing the bar out. So I had to anchor that,
Right.
protect that first letter. And I did this, attempted this on the side pieces, you know, the leftover pieces of the cut.
Yeah.
And to see if I could even do this before I started. But
Well,
this,
we tried it on hard bars
Yeah,
first, but it
was
was
a
a mess.
This was just perfect. This was serendipitous, like I said when I was introducing this video, but it worked out great. I just barely pressed. It gave it that hole punch effect that we were looking for.
And the reason why we wanted that is because the conductor in the movie will stamped all of the children's tickets.
Yeah.
And he stamped on the Hero Boys ticket, believe.
Ended
and that
up
was
being believe, yeah.
that was the whole point of the movie, was to renew belief in the spirit and magic of Christmas, and everything.
He was on the edge.
Yes, he was
Yeah.
on the edge, and we wanted to kind of make this bar embody the theme of that movie, and we will tie it in even further when you see the topper that we're going to put as an embed.
Yeah, but this was make or break right here.
Yeah.
I was nervous. My hand was shaking.
We did not know if this was going to work.
This is freestyle, people.
Yeah.
It was very precarious.
We had 2 end pieces to practice on, and
Yep.
then he had
But
to just
look.
do it. And look how beautifully it turned out.
Shannon was worried that you weren't going to be able to read them. That's how difficult the hard bars were to make the letters.
Well, when we tried to do it on the hard bars, it didn't look like you could not read it really.
There's no stamp here,
And I
people.
said, hey,
This is me stamping.
yeah, you're punching, you're hole
Yeah,
punching.
this is me.
with Micah.
Yeah.
But this part, I'm amazed because, you know, I said, all right, hard bars, it's not working. We're going to have to wait until they're
It
soft.
turned out amazing.
But yeah, they're gorgeous.
This,
Look at that.
This was make or break, and it made the bar, I think.
This was the most intricate work that you did.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
I believe in myself.
yes.
I pat myself on the back.
I believe in you. Okay, so what are we doing now?
We're making frosting.
All right. So
Here again, I'm pouring the lye in. I already prepared that.
we have a slightly different version of our batter with
There's
that.
I'm
And your
pouring in
TD
TD, so
Yep.
you'll see how that looks in our batter,
Nice
which is
and white.
white.
because we want snow.
Yeah, so we were going for a snow effect.
And you know, a lot of people will frost their entire loaf at one time, but for a couple of our bars, this one included, we are actually frosting one bar at a time.
Well, you want to see the detail. It brings that out.
Because when you cut it, it cuts off
Yeah.
the side
If-
of the frosting.
If you have colors, that's fine. But if you want to see flower piping or any little detail, that you want to do it after the fact.
So this bar and our signature bar, we pipe bar by bar.
And we were afraid to pipe this first and then try to hole punch. 'cause
Oh, yeah.
the frosting would not stay put.
Right.
And then the bells too were too big that we're putting on later.
So what are you doing right here?
I'm checking to see how it's setting up. You want it to set up very thick. Let me just say that for you new beginners. I know you're going to probably say, you experienced suppers, that's way too soft, but I was going for an effect. I was confident. So here
Yeah.
I'm using some cling wrap. This is what you want to use if you want the piping bag to say clean.
That was my idea.
Yeah, this is your idea. It's very good. It works well. It is a little soft, but I wanted that running snow effect, melting snow effect.
You
on
wanted
top.
it to look like melting snow
Yeah.
drifts.
Yeah. So here I'm putting it in the bag without trying to get it all over.
I like that because you're not wasting your bag.
Yep, I'm going to reuse that bag.
Uh-huh.
And
But even if you put it directly in the bag, there is still a way to help that.
That's coming up, and I wanted to
Yeah.
show that. That's why I'm going to do this. I ran out of clean wrap on purpose. You'll see that in a minute. Here I'm going to spray this down with rubbing alcohol for the frosting to adhere to the tops.
Yes.
You want to do that because you could see it had ash before on it a little bit.
This is the risk you take when you pipe after you've cut.
Yeah.
Because it's 24 hours later.
Well, and I haven't set this up as hard as it needs to be. The first dollop ran a little bit, so I was concerned. I went a little slow here. I wanted to set up just a little bit more as I was piping, and it will, as it sits around, it'll firm up.
But
your
we
frosting.
wanted a certain effect,
Yeah.
and we definitely achieved it.
Yeah, we sure did.
Melting snow drifts. I guess
Every
you should
stage
say.
of this creation of this bar
Carefully thought out.
was precarious and and very nerve-wracking until I completed it. Every step in the process.
Yes.
But I just love watching. Oh, here I run out of my cling wrap for you. Watch.
Yeah, what happens next
What
year?
am I going to do? Well,
I love your hands coming
use
in.
the bag, and you put it into a cup container. Scoop it. It's no mess.
Right.
Cuts down on the mess.
That works great.
And I wanted to point out you can reuse these bags after you get through the piping. Let it sit around. Wash it out. Put it on a bottle. Let it dry.
Yep.
Don't throw these bags away. And also, you can use a coupler if you want to change out the tips and do
We
another.
didn't on this one
No.
because
we're going to use it. In
we were
another,
confident
so
we were going to use the
Yeah.
same shape throughout. So you're doing a 3-2-1 effect.
Yeah, but I tap it. You notice because it's
I
a
did.
little fluid. There's
Ah,
a
what do we have
sparkle
now?
me red, sparkle me gold.
So
to dust
yeah.
the tops.
Why did we choose red? We just kind of wanted to have like the red of the sleigh accent kind of glowing onto the snow. So we wanted to kind of emulate that effect of maybe light hitting the red and then it glowing on the snow.
And I wanted to point out, when you don't have a gun, the gold I had a gun for, and the red I didn't, but I just used a brush like you would glitter. And I got a little happy here, a little sparkle happy. More is a good thing in this.
You can never have
more is less is more, but in this case, more is more.
You can never have too much sparkle.
No, never. And I love sparkles things. And also the gun here is super easy. I love the gun because you can get bullseye. Boom, you'll see right here. Bam, bam, bam. It's like the old
Just
West.
like Emerald.
Yeah, bam.
Bam.
Kick it up a notch here.
All right. And that's what glitter does.
Yeah, it does.
Kicks it up a
I
notch.
love glitter.
All right.
You can cover up a multitude of sins
Look
with
what
glitter.
we have now.
Yep, the crowning jewel.
Now, this is what ties everything together. The first gift of Christmas was the bell that fell off of the Santa's sleigh, his harness,
Yeah.
for the reindeer.
The sleigh.
And it bounced to the little boy, and he said to himself, believe, I
Yeah.
believe, I believe.
And then Santa came up behind him, and he saw the reflection. And when I was making these bells, I had the Santa hat on, Pappy Claus. I saw myself in it, and I was like, what did you say, young man? And it reminded me of the movie. You get teary at this movie.
I do.
You're easily touched. But
I
this
am.
movie, we watch it every year, and that was the inspiration behind these
But
bars.
This is really the crowning piece
Yeah.
to this, to bring the whole concept together.
Ties it all in.
It ties it all in. The whole message about keeping the spirit and of the magic of Christmas and the holidays alive.
Here I'm anchoring them down with a little toothpick. That's a little tip for you. If you don't want to get frosting all over your hands, and here I was shaking. If you could see this in slow motion, because that bell I thought it was going to fall off.
You were afraid it was going to fall off, but look at how it all turned out.
And we got the name of this soap from the song "Believe" in the movie.
Yes.
And the name of these bars are
If You Just
Believe. And stay tuned for a quick little outtake. We were time-lapsing this, and it was just funny. We want to share that with you.
Yes.
The first step in making your soap is picking out a fragrance.
So what we chose for this one is a cranberry with a hint of grapes and spice and a vanilla finish.
We really hope that you enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoyed creating it for you guys. We also would like it if you would leave any comments, any suggestions. If you purchase any of our products, we really would appreciate a review. We also hope that you have a very blessed holiday season and a very, very Merry Christmas. Bye, guys.